effect for Charlie. Forward, we draw the sword. Forward, up and rally.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with the Scottish campaign. So, we only have one victory condition left, which is capturing Gibraltar, and that is hopefully what we're going to do today, and finish the campaign. Now, we'll see if we'll actually manage this, or if there'll be more videos, but currently it looks pretty good. The Spanish capital lays open. My plan is actually to attack the capital and then force the Spanish to come fight me at the capital. I'm thinking that we're gonna march down, we're gonna out-assault, we're gonna take the capital. I'm gonna leave two armies there with the membership army holding the bridge, while the third army will march through the countryside and attack Lisbon, Portugal, which I believe to be unguarded. So there's no one there. Hopefully this will prompt the armies that is here and the ones that was actually trying to, I guess, go out and try and reclaim the empire to come to the aid of the capital. So with that, I say we start to march. Now, because I am wanting to put the membership army, which is currently under Caden McElroy, which is a new general, the old General Ty, which died, which is perhaps no surprise. Also, I should say it's the winter of 1776. I'm gonna send in this army first, which is not super comfortably winning that battle, so I'm gonna send in a secondary army as well. This one has a little bit of a mess of an army, which I put together of a load of different troops. We also have here I guess we'll send everything we have. Also, what was I doing? I can't remember what the Polish army was going to do. I think I was sneakingly going to go ahead and take Belarus from the Swedes, because that region has been under rebellion for so long, and the Swedes haven't actually put any effort into taking that back, which I find rather surprising. So I think that's what I was doing. But it seems perhaps a little bit too much of a thing to do right here at the very end. France is still very much unhappy. I had an idea that I won't hold it. I had a load of ideas about giving territory away and stuff. I have not started with that yet, as I figure that as it is right now, any smaller nation I start up is just going to get swallowed up by the Prussians, which are currently rampaging all over the place. Perhaps I created a monster by empowering the Prussians. Anyways, now that I have two armies down here, we can comfortably go ahead and out-resolve this. As you can see, the force within the town is nothing special, and it's just going to be a waste of time if I go ahead and play it. We deployed 12,000 men against about 6,000 enemies. We lost 2,000 men, they lost everything, and I have 10,000 men remaining. We even killed that little force up in the north, and now the Spanish capital is under my control. Right, that means the membership army will march down, block the bridge, and prepare for the enemy attack. What I'm going to do here, though, is I figure that this army, which actually took the town, might actually perhaps this army, this army is kind of a mess, should be the one to march on to Portugal. Oh, they It's not enough movement speed to do anything here. But at least I have an army within Madrid. For now. Right. Oh, the area is very unhappy. Devastation is very high. Devastation by armies. I do think this is mostly, though, the fact that I've laid the entire place under blockade. I don't know how they're managing to emigrate when all the ports are under control. Unless they are emigrating across... I mean, there's always a way or another to get across. Wouldn't there be? Right. So that is done. We're gonna head over to America for a little while. I actually gone ahead and made Louisiana a protectorate under the after the last video. I think I paid too much for it, but now they're my protectorate. I'm thinking of giving them Upper Louisiana, but I figured first I would actually go ahead and improve the area because it was very underdeveloped with multiple towns that have not sprung up yet. So I am building that area up. Also, the Huron decided to declare war on me. They're allied with the Spanish. So I marched an army up there and I took this from them. And then later we're gonna go all the way up here to take the second area, York Factory. Already set up a ship built up here, which will take the entire army up and land it there. And then for the Spanish colonies, I'm surprised actually that New Spain has not followed Old Spain, or European Spain, or whatever you want to call it. They have, unlike Louisiana, which follow the French into war against me, the New Spain has decided to sit this one out. And because they hold so much of the Spanish territory here in the New World, it was quite easy to secure the rest of the Spanish holdings here. It was easy enough to take Cuba, as there was no one defending the town. And once the armies realized what was going on, I'd already landed a second army and outresolved the shit out of those. And we'd already seen me take Santo Domingo and San Jose, Trinidad Tobago down here. And then Martinique fell because the pirates have nothing. Now the only area they hold left is this one right here. And I have landed an army, but really what I want them to do is kind of to take their navy out with the army and then somewhere on the high seas get stuck so that I can go ahead and sink their ship. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set traps for them out here so that it's gonna be very hard for them to slip out with their ship so that I can secure it and sink it once they decide they want to try and leave that area. But back to Europe, it's time to end turn, see if my plan works, and that they will actually spring into action now that their capital is under Scottish command. Very much disappointed in the Spanish response, but perhaps I should not be too what's it called? Too surprised. Dallas Patterson is born in Poland. He's not born in Poland. It's a very old child being born at 25. Actually, I finally get someone who's pretty good at technologies. Most of the time they only get like duelists things. Here's a gentleman scientist and a factory master, which would be good, but then again he's born in Poland. Not that there's anything wrong with Poland, but it's a far away from my centers of culture and technology. Research centers. Workers on strike in Spain. We have more. Oh, another one popping up. Kirk Barton. Another pretty good guy, even though he looks a little bit Well, you know what? He looks like a 1700s gentleman, so... Letter of demand from Spain? Right, they go ahead. The Spanish start to raid their own countryside. A lot of it. And then we have another rebellion in France. And then a fleet arrives. Where did I send the fleet? Ah yes, I decided to send this here. I figured that perhaps, just because I have so many ships, that I could perhaps beat one of these enemy trade fleets, which there is actually only one at this point. Given though the 90-gun ships, I don't think that's feasible. So, as soon as we came, we went again. And then, of course, even here, at the very end of the campaign, with me making... At this point, I think I make close to 150,000 per turn. But I'm still worried about making sure that everything's built to specifications. What I have gone ahead and switched up in my tactic is no longer trying to worry too much about setting up everything to the highest level because of the unhappiness it will bring. Now I'm just pumping it all up to the highest settings, and then afterwards I will go ahead and correct the unhappiness of the populace by deploying troops to each of these areas. So at this point I'm making 172,000 per turn. The only Spanish counterattack that I received was actually towards this army, so they pushed it away. I decided to retreat it because not only did they attack it, they attacked it with a really small force. They attacked it with only sort of this force right here, which I found really surprising because it was... They attacked me with a force which was small enough that it wasn't worth the battle, but large enough that I couldn't just out-resolve it, which I thought kind of interesting because this army is packed to the brim with cannons that could easily just wipe away a lot of this. So I was kind of surprised. We are not going to worry about this one little island. It's going to fall to the pirates anyways when Spain loses all their holdings here. Also, I changed my mind because this secondary army is more of a well-rounded army and will be more in line with an army that can defend itself if the enemy comes to reclaim Portugal. So this one will sit in Madrid, Spain, and act as a reinforcement army for the main army. Now, what we can see from the Spanish forces here is the Spanish forces have moved out. They went to Seville, and then Cadiz, and Andalusian farmlands, and the La Mancha vineyards, and they went all over the place just to burn everything down. Also, I note here, since we just took everything over, the Spanish fleet is now gone. I don't have to worry about actually protecting this port because it's now mine. So we're going to move that force over there. Same over here. I don't need to lay blockade to it because now it's my port. So that one can rejoin this. Also, I now realize the Spanish fleet is gone. I also don't need any ships here, so they can also rejoin the main fleet. They can't all fit, so they'll go to port in Algiers. I kind of wanted the Spanish to converge all their armies and make one decisive army that I could face in battle, rather than all these small ones. Here's the the French Revolutionary Force, Grenadiers, Carbineer Guards, a lot of elite troops, but way too small to be any significant threat, as there's only 1,700 of them against my 7,000. And the enemy is easily defeated and we marched back to Paris. Right. I'm gonna give them... Now, the membership army could march down the road. I don't think they would be intercepted by this, so I couldn't make it all the way to Gibraltar. But I kind of... Why... If I march off the bridge, will they be more inclined to meet me in battle? We'll give it one more try for them to meet me at the bridge, or gather a better position for their armies. As they now kind of, they've placed the weakest one that's really in the way from my way to Gibraltar. So I don't get that. I could potentially here actually march up and take the second bridge and set up there. And then we could have actually the Swiss army set up on this bridge and protect that, and then I march this army down to this bridge and then jump there, and that would be roughly at the same time almost as I take out Portugal. But we need, I figure we need something similar to the Battle of Paris here. So hopefully these armies will try at least to combine. Yet again then, let's end turn. Well, I was mistaken, the Spanish fleet was not in fact sunk. It just moved somewhere else, and now it comes to attack me. The problem is, Archibald Waldegrave only has 3 ships, 272 and 156, against what I can only assume is the entire remaining force of the Spanish naval force. They're ready to open up this port in the north of Spain. Surprise, surprise! Going up against a fleet of 19 ships, while you only have 3, is not going to work out too well. They captured 2 of our ships. One of them managed to get away, though, which was the Admiral, Great Harry. I did not realize it was called Great Harry, and that is not something I've named it. Put up a pretty good fight, considering. I tried to keep the 3 main Spanish ships away from me. Successfully dismasted the first one, but the other 2 came within range, and it's hard to fight against those 90-gun ships. They have heavy armament, and when they got that close, we were done for. So the Great Harry retreats back to the, I was about to say, English Channel. Agent recruited in Rupert's Land. Is that's all my Gentlemen, silences? Scientists are dying and respawning in the most awkward areas. Workers on strike in Spain and what's it called? France. Fleet arrives. Yeah, that was the trade fleet. I should perhaps recruit some warships along the coast here. I think we have at least one port here, so that I can go after that Spanish fleet. Will go for 3 90 gun ships and then one 40 or 74 gun. Right, and I don't have to worry about that, I don't think, anymore. Oh, they died here, and then they died... So, oh, the general of this army died. I recently appointed him. Why are we appointed so old generals? The new general is 75, and he's Bryce. What on earth? Well, it means something different in Britain, doesn't it? He's a smoker, that's what it is. He's smoking something for sure. I've never seen that before. Right, I'm gonna take this army now down to this river, set up there, and then the Swiss army would set up there, the remnants of the Swiss-Italian army comes up there. You're on your way, you can actually set up in Orléans. The Prussians are coming in to aid me, apparently. And then this army is now just a stone's throw away from conquering Portugal. I wonder though if I should actually do that, or if I should go directly for Gibraltar. My main fleet perhaps should go out to search for the Spanish fleet. This shouldn't be a naval episode though. But I cannot stand that we do not hold the command of the sea. So here we go. Let's sink the Spanish Navy. And there we have it. No surprise that I was able to take down the enemy fleet. My fleet was so much stronger in terms of guns and in numbers. We deployed 19 ships against 20. We lost 1. That ship was I think either it was a 90 gun ship or it was an 86 gun ship, I can't remember, that somehow managed to get set on fire and explode. I mean, did manage to blow up 3 of the enemy ships. And then, as you can see, we captured 13 enemy ships. Most importantly, we recaptured the ships that the enemy had captured, namely the Phoenix and the Comet. So those are back in Scottish service. And there, I did not forget to add them. Right, the Spanish fleet sunk, or at least the major part of it. We're gonna go to French port here. Ew. And repair the fleet. Right, I've set it up, so now this army is isolated on a bridge, though. But it's Spanish forces all around. Let's see if they go ahead and combine to attack McElroy. Well, this time around it's a Spanish rebellion, riots in France. Pretty strong Spanish force there as well. Perhaps not as strong as the French force, though. Once again, I am disappointed to find that the Spanish do not attack me. Clearly, they realize what a bridge battle will in turn for them. So we've got one army that is trying to make their way arduous journey through here. This one perhaps might be ready to combat us here, but very unlikely. And this one decides just to sit in port, just in case. I guess he didn't get the news that I sunk the Spanish fleet right off the coast there. This, I guess the French heard what I said last time when I said ugh, when we went to port here to repair the navy, because the French went ahead and destroyed their own port. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and once again go ahead and put the Spanish under siege. And then I guess this will be the final land battle. We have 7,000 men against 7,800 Spanish troops. Once this army falls, then so will Gibraltar, and Portugal is just an outer assault away. So with that, let's go ahead and have this final battle of this campaign. The fight is about to commence. My force has marched up and we've taken this ridge right here. The Spanish decided to defend early on, but it looks like they've changed strategy and they're now coming against me. Might be time to set up the howitzer. What we have is the grenadiers, backed up by cuirassiers. I don't know how these cuirassier units are 200. I don't think that's normal. I also noted that some of the cannons have a higher number of troops. I've also deployed a Scottish line infantry here, as I figured these guys, or another line infantry brigade, since I figured these guys were going to march in under artillery fire. It looks like that's not going to be the case because the enemy is coming towards us. I'm gonna try. I wanted to see if I could get more of my cannons into action against the enemy. Seeing as though they come marching against me now, I figure I will go ahead and move these guys around, and perhaps actually, because they're coming on so heavily towards this position, I will have artillery set up in the back as fallback positions. This is Scottish line infantry that I have forgot to set a position for. So they will march up here. So I've got, let's see, where were we? So, infantry, grenadiers, very big cuirassier units. As you can see, the light infantry skirmishing its front, We've got the Irish Brigade right here, followed by Lord Gordon's Brigade, and then we have a few line infantry, 3 of them stationed around the cannons. It turns out to be Jared in the center, with Wallace Warband there, and the 91st Regiment of Foot, so not a specialty unit. And then Lord Gordon's, not Lord Gordon's, the Guard Infantry with Culloden's Own is marching up on the left here. That means that among these we should find what's he called? We're missing someone. Where is Clan Ranald? Have I accidentally put him in a different army? Right, I think we'll move the cavalry to the side and have them move through the hill to attack the enemy. Right, the enemy's cavalry and troops are coming on very strongly here. Let's see about setting up the artillery as soon as possible so we have a fallback position. As the enemy is now getting close enough that the front line is starting to fire, which they really shouldn't, because they'll shoot my skirmishers in the back. The skirmishers will now retire, set up in between the cannons here, and prepare to defend there. Also, this one's set to canister with Jared in front. That's probably not a good idea. Jared will move slightly back. Also, there is a risk, of course, that this gun will get shot. I figure it might be safer for you to go for round shot. Right, let's speed these guys up so the provincial cavalry doesn't get through. And now the front line can open fire again. Grenadier Brigade have seen the enemy off, and the cavalry was preemptively struck by the enemy cavalry, which didn't go too well for them because there's 300 heavy cavalry, or actually more, that is forcing them away. I feel like I'm missing someone. Who am I? Yeah, it's Jared, Wallace Warband. We're missing someone. Did I actually accidentally trade away one of the membership units to another army? He's somewhere else, or I've accidentally put him somewhere else in the front line. There's no point in trying to fall back now when there's cavalry attacking the front line, but we should see about falling back rather soon here. So I'll have Lord Gordon swing towards this side, and then the Irish will go to here, which is not great because we got Pistoliers in the back. However, I will detach this unit right here to go ahead and attack. 49th, 33rd, 50th, 48th. None of those are the unit I'm looking for. Heavy cavalry will strike. Grenadiers hold. Right, as the Irish pull back, so does actually the enemy there. Oh, unfortunately, who is that? James Graham's Own is caught by the enemy advance and is forced to form into square. The lights fired well. Fire canister, if you please. And that unit was destroyed. Let's go ahead and plug the gap here, as there's the Regiment of Madrid, Tercios of Madrid, is coming up to fight. Alright, let's see if James Graham's Own can rejoin the line here. Wavering. But holding strong. And they will be able to rejoin the line. Slightly shaken by that, though they were left behind. But it worked really well. As soon as the cavalry is gone there, the Guard Brigade will advance, which it should do right about now. You are fired at will. Wallace Warband, Jared. He's missing. Where have I put him then? We've got Halberdiers of the King marching in. Right, there's a big cavalry fight over here. Figure we're actually winning this here. They've made a huge square here. I figure these are grenadiers after all. We'll just pile this entire side into an attack. Oh, who's broken here? The Tercio actually broke one of the light infantry. No surprise there, perhaps, that the pikes were able to break the line infantry. Line infantry, not usually very good at melee. Right, fire canister on that bastard. I'm not even sure where my howitzer is focusing in right now. Oh, he's focusing in out there on the enemy cannons. The enemy's halberdiers decided to run right in front of that. Hold fire, you've got nothing in front of you. So both these guns will hold fire now. Oh, he's running straight for that. What can you aim for? That early infantry. My bayonet charge has gone stuck. However, I figure that my heavy cavalry can actually push through this Spanish cavalry. And we can see about swinging around and actually aiding. Ooh, that was a nasty shot into my unit there. Persistent bayonet fighting has proven successful though, and we are forcing the enemy away. Another light unit has been forced away. Perhaps not the best here to set them up to guard the center. But we have been successful. One of my heavy cavalries are through. Right up, fire pistol onto the square. Let's have these two regiments come into line and start pelting the enemy with bullets, while all of these now charge the square. Let's retire slightly, as I've now ordered 2 canisters to be facing that. Let's have the Irish advance to about there. Otherwise, I figure the lines will hold, except for the guards. The guard should advance. And I figure the 3 units behind here should advance as well. You can do round shot on that cannon. Right, the halberdiers forced away. You should focus on that instead. You guys loaded. The halberdiers are coming in quickly. This will be our odd shot because he's aiming for that, but he's still pointing the other way. Right, the enemy is forced away. You can speed up a little bit, otherwise I figure the 18-pounder is going to shoot straight through you. Right, the Lord Gordons will advance. Time for these cannons to hold fire. The lights will hold their position. Can we get all of this into line? How has it taken this long for you to break down this unit? My mighty heavy cavalry have had such difficulty breaking through there. This Irish unit's gonna come very close to the enemy there. Let's get a little bit closer. Same with this line. And then the heavy cavalry can actually make their way through here, swing around, get rid of the enemy's cannons. And with that, we stand victorious. Hold fire and then pick targets at will. This unit was forced away. We're all kind of being forced away. A little bit late perhaps to come up with the idea here that a lot of these will probably be retreating towards Gibraltar, and I would have to fight them again. And if I've lost too many men, that's not very good, is it? If I lost too many men and they managed to rally too many around their around Gibraltar. But as we can see, this battle at least is at this point won. And here's the result of the battle. I have realized something though, when I keep mentioning all the infantry units, I keep forgetting about Catherine's Guard, the heavy cavalry of course. Unfortunately, and I've probably done that for quite a while now, when I've been focusing on trying to remember the infantry. Anyways, we deployed 7,900 against 7,870. We lost about 2,000 men, while they lost 6,400, leaving only 1,400 enemies left, while I have 5,000. So that should be plenty enough for me to capture the town. Artillery up in top, and Catherine's own then, possibly doing the most. Or actually, since most of the entire brigade is made up of Catherine's own. The Scottish Cuirassiers, and then Scottish Line Infantry, not entirely sure who that is. Lord Gordon's regiment, and so on. Irish. As we go along, light infantry down here, gaining a lot of points, but losing a lot of men. And as it looks like, I lost 2 of the light units getting destroyed in battle. No surprise, perhaps. They came under heavy fire, not just by the enemy, by my own troops as well. With that, this area is secured, and I will now go ahead and seize Gibraltar. Actually, what we'll do is we'll seize Portugal first, and we have now secured that, and we will now secure Gibraltar. 480 men lost, the entire garrison taken out, and Spain... And now Spain is no more, and I have won the campaign as Scotland. As we can see right here, we managed to secure a way to capture the area. The Kingdom of Scotland has won the campaign. Right, Spain destroyed, the pirates rise, and the pirates will have a demise just as soon as they rise, because this Scottish force is ready to go ahead and destroy them right away. Courtesans, fugitive slaves, Norwegian widows, all kinds of nasty pirate troops. I don't know why so many Norwegian widows make it to Caribbean and take up a life of piracy. Something must be going on in Norway. Anyways, here's the campaign done. We'll go ahead and set up for a new vote for a new campaign, and in between there might be some extra episodes, because I was thinking I have not been able to... Let's see, achievements here. Hopefully you can see this. I'm still missing 5 achievements. One of the achievements that I don't have is subdue and hold all provinces and regions in Europe at the same time, which I might just go ahead and do, since I have a grand opportunity to do so. With that said though, there will be some other things in between now and the new campaign, and I will also be focusing back on the Act 3, the 3rd act of the Master of Command, not Master and Command, which is easy to say because of the movie. Anyways, with that, I will be saying, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully I will see you guys for the next one. Bye.